My spouse abruptly initiated divorce proceedings, labeling me a worthless partner and abandoned me for a younger woman. He was convinced I'd crumble without him. I just gave a faint smile. Now he's blowing up my phone with calls, up to 20 times daily. My husband, David, after 15 years of marriage, served me divorce papers yesterday, calling me a useless spouse before announcing he's moving in with his new girlfriend. He was so sure I'd fall to pieces without him. I'm still reeling, but I need to vent. I should have seen the warning signs. In hindsight, they were obvious, but you never want to believe the person you've built your life with could change so drastically. Or perhaps they were always like that, and I was too blind to notice. It began with subtle shifts. About 8 months ago, David got obsessed with fitness, joining a CrossFit gym at 5 a.m. daily, splurging on Under Armour gear, and constantly checking his Fitbit stats. I was supportive. We're not getting younger, and health matters. He even gifted me a stationary bike for my birthday, though he'd remind me weekly how expensive it was and how little I used it. Then came the late nights at the office, the secretive texts he'd hide when I passed by, the new cologne from Nordstrom he claimed was a tester. He started critiquing my looks, suggesting I try those trendy serums from social media or get fillers like everyone else. For the record, I take care of myself just fine. I'm just not into spending hundreds on luxury skincare or chasing Instagram trends. Yesterday, while sorting laundry, I found a receipt from Pandora in his jacket. We're not wealthy. We shop at Walmart and drive a 2017 Toyota. A Pandora receipt raised red flags. When I checked our shared bank account, my heart sank. There were multiple transfers to an unfamiliar account, and our savings had been dwindling for 6 months. I waited until he got home, receipt in hand. Instead of the usual excuses or deflection, he just chuckled. Actually chuckled. Then he went to his study, returned with an envelope, and tossed it on the kitchen counter. I was going to wait until Friday, but since you're snooping, he said, smirking like he'd outsmarted me. My attorney says this is generous, considering you've brought nothing to this marriage. I sat there staring at the divorce papers as he rambled about how his new girlfriend, Skylar, takes care of herself and has drive. Apparently, she's a yoga influencer he met at CrossFit. She's got 60,000 followers on TikTok and is going places. Meanwhile, I'm just the wife who supported his career early on, managed our home, and paused my own goals because he insisted his job took priority. The worst part? He'd been planning this for months. He already had a condo with her in a fancy downtown high-rise, the Pandora receipt, a commitment ring. He used our joint savings to buy his mistress jewelry. Let's be real, he said. You can't even figure out the Hulu app without me. You'll be begging me to reconcile within days. I'm doing you a favor, teaching you to grow up. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just watched him pack his bags with his pricey new wardrobe. He took his tablet, his PlayStation, and even the fancy espresso machine, left me with the cheap one. After he left, I opened my laptop and dug into our accounts. Discovered he'd been siphoning money since February, found credit card charges for dinners and hotels I knew nothing about. Even stumbled on a PayPal history that turned my stomach. I called my sister Emma, who rushed over. We stayed up all night, sorting documents and making lists. This morning, I called out sick from work and booked a consultation with a divorce lawyer. I also locked our shared credit cards, something I learned from a random YouTube video of all places. It's been 24 hours. My phone shows 23 missed calls from him. The first voicemail was furious. The second was menacing. By the 10th, he was pleading for a rational C. Thank you all for the support on my last post. I'm still processing, but some developments need to be shared. I've been staying at my sister Emma's place for the past week, crashing on her sofa. She's got a toddler, so the spare room is a toy jungle. I'm not complaining, though. It's better than being alone in that house. The first wake-up call came when I tried to buy something on eBay. My card was declined for a $25 purchase. I called the bank. That's when the mess unraveled. David had been transferring small amounts, $150 to $250 every few weeks, labeled as things like car repairs or house maintenance. Mundane stuff I wouldn't question. I feel foolish now. We've had separate accounts since we married. His idea said it was more efficient. But I trusted him with our joint savings. Most of my salary went there, for our future, he said. Right. Found out he's been taking Skylar to upscale spots. Not crazy expensive, but more than we'd spend. Like that new top-ass place where cocktails cost $12. Meanwhile, he'd grumble if I spent $40 at Costco on essentials. The strangest part? While sorting through our paperwork, 15 years worth, I found receipts from places I've never been. Cafes near her condo, concert tickets for shows I didn't attend. He didn't even hide them well, just shoved them in a drawer with our bills. Emma's been helping me sort it all. She's a credit union teller, so she knows what to look for. Textbook financial manipulation, she called it. That term feels too intense for my situation. I just feel naive, like I should have caught on earlier. Something weird happened yesterday at Target. I was grabbing basics, toothbrush, conditioner, when I ran into David's cousin Lucas. Instead of being weird, he helped me pick out a budget scanner for my documents. Said David pulled similar stunts with his college girlfriend. Wish I'd known that 15 years ago. But oh well. David's calls have dropped to about 5 to 6 a day now. His messages have shifted from angry to oddly worried. Just checking if you're managing the utilities, he texted yesterday, as if I haven't been paying my own phone bill forever. Skylar messaged me on Instagram. Nothing big, just a, we should chat sometime. Ignored it. What's there to say? She knew he was married. She's no saint. I met with a divorce lawyer yesterday. Not fancy. Found her through a women's forum online. She was concerned about the financial patterns, especially after I showed her how he'd been moving money, said we need to move quickly to stop him from hiding more assets. The biggest shock? I logged into our old shared email and found confirmations for a credit card I didn't know existed. Just a basic Discover card with a $2,500 limit. But he'd been using it for months, mostly at bistros and gas stations near her place. Had to laugh when I saw charges from a budget gym. He'd been bragging about his elite CrossFit membership. Guess the yoga influencer girlfriend wasn't raking in the cash, he implied. Today I opened my own bank account, a simple checking account at Wells Fargo. The banker was great, walked me through their app. It's not brain surgery, despite David's claims. Oh, and I figured out why he always controlled our Hulu account. He had a separate profile for watching with her. Real charming, David. Edit 1. Thanks for the advice about locking my credit. Done. Edit 2. Yes, I'm saving everything. Got a phone folder full of screenshots. Edit 3. For those asking, no, I haven't replied to either of them. Lawyer says keep it that way. Edit 4. Some of you suggested blasting Skylar online. Not my style. I just want to move forward with my head held high. Quick update because this week was insane. Remember how David was so sure I'd collapse without him? Well, fate had other ideas. It started when I landed a job at a local firm. Nothing glamorous, entry-level admin work, $15 an hour. But get this. The office is in the same building as one of David's key clients, the ones he's always trying to wow. I didn't plan it. Just found the job on LinkedIn and applied. First day, guess who I see in the elevator? David, in his big meeting blazer, the one he maxed out our Macy's card for, with Skylar trailing behind like a nervous intern. His expression when he saw me in business casual toting my new briefcase? Gold. Skylar just fidgeted, probably wondering why her successful boyfriend looked spooked. But here's the juicy part. David always managed our finances because I was too disorganized to handle them. Turns out my new boss, Ryan, loves my attention to detail. Asked me to tidy up some databases while I was learning Google Sheets. Thanks. Online tutorials. I applied those skills to organize all the proof of David's financial games. The best part? I didn't need to make a scene. Just handed my meticulously sorted folders of bank records, credit card statements, and screenshots to my lawyer. She grinned and said, "This is perfect. We won't even need a financial investigator." David learned about this at our first mediation session. He showed up cocky, probably expecting me to be a wreck. Instead, he faced a room with printed copies of every shady transfer he'd made in the past year, including charges for motels near Skylar's condo he swore were work trips. His reaction when the mediator reviewed the evidence? Better than any soap opera. But it gets better. Remember that stationary bike he got me for my birthday? The one he said I never touched? I logged into the account last week. Guess what? Workout logs showed him and Skylar using it together, at our house, on days I was at Emma's. Yeah, in our home. I dropped this casually during mediation, sliding the activity log across the table. David fumbled his words trying to explain. The real karma? Skylar realized David wasn't as loaded as he claimed. She found out he's still paying off that Pandora ring, which, by the way, wasn't even from Pandora. Found the receipt. It's from a knockoff site. How do I know? Skylar did something unexpected. She DM'd me on TikTok, not with drama, but with screenshots. Tons of them. Texts where David promised to lease her a car. With what funds, man? Chats about moving into a high-end condo he couldn't afford. Even some nasty comments about me that'll spice up our divorce case. Thought you should know who he really is, she wrote. I'm done with his lies. I didn't reply. Just sent everything to my lawyer. Professional payback feels way better than drama. The cherry on top? David's mom called me yesterday. Apparently she's been following this mess through our small town's rumor mill. She apologized for excusing his behavior all these years and dropped a bombshell. David lost his job. Not because of me. He'd been padding his expense reports for months. All those ritzy dates with Skylar. Charged to his company card. I won't lie. I was tempted to blast this on social media. Post the screenshots. Make him feel as small as he made me feel when he called me useless. But I didn't need to. He's tanking his own reputation just fine. Instead, I focused on making my new studio apartment mine. Got some succulents from Lowe's. They're still kicking. Figured out how to hang a wall shelf myself. YouTube's a lifesaver. Even started cooking real meals. Turns out I'm not the kitchen disaster David always claimed. The best revenge? When he made another TikTok account to message me, I didn't even get mad. Just marked it as spam and went back to my cooking video. Remember how I said David got sacked for expense report fraud? That was just the start. It began last Tuesday at a coffee shop before work. I overheard two guys at the next table talking about someone caught misusing company funds. Didn't think much of it until I heard David's name. Turns out he didn't just charge Skylar's dates to his work card, he'd been pulling this at his last 3 jobs. How do I know? Skylar spilled the tea. Not just to me, to everyone. After David got fired, he couldn't keep up the lavish promises to her. No more dinners at Applebee's, no more shopping at Athleta, no more weekend getaways. The final blow? He couldn't pay off that fake Pandora ring. Yes, still can't believe it was a knockoff. Skylar didn't just get upset, she got strategic. Those expense reports David faked? She had proof, tons of proof. He used to show off to her, flaunting his genius at dodging the system. She'd saved it all in her iCloud, thinking her boyfriend was a financial wizard. Last week, she posted a TikTok. Nothing over the top, just a story time about dating a fraud. No names, but she flashed those receipts. It went viral locally. David's former colleagues recognized the expense report layout. Meanwhile, I had my own win. Remember that shared eBay account he kept trying to access? He'd been using it to buy Skylar gifts while we were still married. So I did something small but satisfying. Returned everything still eligible for a refund. The money went back to my card since I was the original buyer. He didn't notice until eBay sent him those review your purchase emails. By then, Skylar's gifts were back in their warehouse and my refunds had cleared. But here's the good part. Yesterday, at Walmart, picking up organizers for my new place, I ran into David's sister, Sarah. Instead of awkwardness, she gave me a hug and spilled some gossip. David had been borrowing cash from their parents, saying it was for business ventures. Really, he was funding his fake high-roller life with Skylar. His parents found out at a family dinner last weekend. How? Skylar's TikTok popped up on his mom's Instagram reels. There was a big blow-up at Chili's, of all places. David's dad was so mad he demanded their house key back. David's response? Total spiral. He started texting everyone, trying to spin the story, made new TikTok accounts to hassle Skylar, kept calling his old job to plead his case, even showed up at his parents' house at 1 a.m. begging for sympathy. The karma kept coming. Remember how he insisted on managing our shared Dropbox because I was too messy? I logged in last week to grab some old pics. Found a folder of his texts with Skylar from when they first got together, including plans for after he ditched me. I didn't do anything dramatic, just sent it all to my lawyer. She chuckled and said, "This is making my job too easy." But the real peak. Skylar posted another TikTok yesterday. This time, she showed the fake Pandora ring with screenshots of the shady site he bought it from. The video's at 60,000 views. David tried showing up at my workplace to discuss things. Read. Begged me to salvage his image. Security didn't even let him pass the lobby. His meltdown is now office legend, caught on camera. I did something petty yesterday, changed all our streaming passwords while watching his doorbell cam notifications light up as he tried to log in. Disney Plus, Peacock, Paramount Plus, even his beloved NFL Game Pass. By the 4th alert, I was laughing. His dream car, a leased BMW he got to impress Skylar, way over our budget, got repossessed this morning, from the parking lot of the budget motel where he's been crashing since Skylar kicked him out. I saw it all from the Starbucks drive-thru across the street. Didn't plan to be there. Just grabbing coffee before work. Sometimes life just delivers. Edit 1. Yes, I'm still documenting everything for the divorce. Edit 2. No, I won't share Skylar's TikTok handle. This isn't about stirring up more chaos. I didn't plan to write another update, but recent events feel like a fitting close to this saga. It's been 6 months since David walked out, calling me a useless spouse. The divorce is finalized. No dramatic courtroom battle, just lawyers and papers in a dull office. David looked worn out, wearing the same Macy's shirt he used to boast about. It's creased and snug now. Seems his yoga influencer life with Skylar fizzled out. Here's the tea. Those fake expense reports? His company didn't press charges, just quietly withheld his final paycheck and bonuses, blacklisted him, and moved on. Big firms avoid public messes when they can. Skylar dumped him last month. No viral TikTok this time. She just moved back to her parents' place in the suburbs. Life's less thrilling when your boyfriend can't afford TGI Fridays anymore. She tried DMing me on TikTok to explain, but I left her on red. Some things don't need a response. David's now renting a room in a shared house across town. His BMW's gone, and he's driving a beat-up Nissan, the kind he used to scoff at me for suggesting because it was too plain. I'm still at my admin job, but got a small raise, $4 an hour. Not huge, but it's something. Figured out how to file my taxes with an online tool. It's not the mystery David made it out to be. Ran into his mom at Walmart last week, both of us eyeing storage bins. Instead of dodging, we chatted. She said David tried borrowing money from them, but they shut him down. He needs to grow up, she said, then helped me pick out some cute, cheap cushions for my studio. My apartment's finally homey. Got some plants from Home Depot. 2 of 3 are thriving. Started cooking with meal kits and hit the local gym on weekends. Nothing flashy, just normal life. David still tries messaging me from new TikTok accounts. Usually after a few drinks. Stuff like, "You'll regret this," or "You can't survive without me." I block and move on. The funny part? Found his old password list in our shared Dropbox? Yes, in a file called Passwords. Didn't touch it. Just sent it to Sarah so she could warn him to update everything. Met a guy, Ryan, at work. Nothing serious. Just break room lunches. He's also divorced and gets why I'm not ready for more. But the real kicker? Last week at Starbucks, I overheard guys from David's old office chatting. He's been calling and emailing, begging for his job back. Even showed up in the lobby once. They didn't bother with security, just let him stand there until he gave up. His new life's not what he envisioned. No more fancy gym. He's at the same budget gym as me now. We dodged each other in the parking lot once. Skylar's back on dating apps. His important contacts ghost him. Meanwhile, I'm doing all the things he said I couldn't. Paying bills, fixing small apartment issues, managing my budget. Nothing wild, just adulting he swore I'd fail at. Found our old wedding album while decluttering last weekend. That girl in the photos trying so hard to please him? I don't know her anymore. The best moment wasn't some grand revenge. It was yesterday at the bank, depositing my paycheck. I still like going in person. The teller, the same one who helped me open my account 6 months ago when I was a nervous wreck, smiled and said, "You seem happier. And you know what? I am."